Miyamoto Musashi, a name synonymous with the samurai way, embarked on a journey of self-discovery and mastery at the tender age of 15. This journey, known in Japanese culture as Musha Shugyo, or the warrior's pilgrimage, was a time of solitary travel, self-improvement, and the honing of his martial arts skills. Born in the late 16th century, Musashi was a man of his time, yet his teachings transcend time and place. His life was one of relentless dedication to the way of the warrior, the samurai code known as Bushidō. It was a path marked by discipline, focus, restraint, and honor. Musashi's early life was a crucible of combat and conflict. He engaged in numerous duels, testing his skills against formidable opponents. Yet it was his encounter with Sasaki Kojiro that marked a significant turning point in his journey. Kojiro, known as the demon of the western provinces, was considered the most challenging adversary Musashi ever faced. Their legendary duel on the shores of Funajima Island concluded with Musashi's victory and Kojiro's death. This moment, however, was not a celebration of victory for Musashi. Instead, it spurred a profound realization of the transient nature of life and the irreversible consequence of lethal duels. He made a decision then, a decision that would define the rest of his life. He renounced the practice of lethal dueling. After receiving ronin status, a samurai without a lord or master, Musashi's journey took a turn inward. He started reflecting on his experiences, contemplating the essence of the warrior's path. This introspective phase led him to retire to a cave, the Reigando, or Spirit Rock Cave, where he spent the last years of his life. In solitude, Musashi distilled his wisdom into written works, expanding on the path of the warrior. His teachings, including the renowned 21 precepts of Dokkōdō, provide timeless principles on how a warrior should live. This warrior's pilgrimage set the foundation for Musashi's teachings, which he penned down in retirement, creating a timeless guide for the path of the warrior. A cornerstone of Musashi's teachings is the principle of independent thought. This principle urges us to break away from blindly following customary beliefs. It encourages us to question, to scrutinize, and to think for ourselves. Drawing from the annals of history, Musashi was all too familiar with the pitfalls of blind obedience. He likely witnessed unskilled leaders guiding their followers astray, whether they were heads of a Koryu, a Japanese school of traditional arts, or even political leaders and emperors of his time. When we blindly follow customary beliefs, we risk relinquishing our common sense, our capacity for rational thought, and sometimes even our morality. Just because something is considered the norm, it doesn't mean it's free from malevolence. History is rife with examples of people collectively engaging in atrocities, all while convinced of their actions' righteousness. The atrocities committed during the Second World War serve as a stark reminder of what blind obedience to a dominant narrative can lead to. Similarly, in contemporary times, we can observe this phenomenon in our attitudes towards alcohol consumption. While narcotics use is often stigmatized, alcohol consumption is institutionalized and celebrated, despite its potentially destructive effects. It's so entrenched in our culture that abstaining from alcohol often requires justification. This, despite the fact that alcohol consumption contributes to approximately 3 million deaths each year, as per the World Health Organization. Musashi's teachings remind us to question these norms, to assess their value and impact on our lives. They urge us to step away from the herd mentality, to exercise our rationality, and to make decisions based on our understanding and knowledge. In the same vein, Musashi encourages us to not just accept beliefs and practices because they are customary or because they are handed down to us. He prompts us to scrutinize these beliefs, to understand their implications, and to decide for ourselves whether they align with our personal values and ethics. In Musashi's words, adherence to the norm isn't always the path to righteousness. His teachings inspire us to step away from the beaten path, to forge our own way, guided by our wisdom and understanding. Musashi's teachings also delve into the virtues of minimalism and acceptance of mortality. He urges us not to collect weapons or anything for that matter beyond what is useful. This is a call to purposeful simplicity, a life unburdened by unnecessary possessions. Today we live in a world obsessed with accumulation. We stockpile material goods, mistaking them for symbols of success and happiness. Yet Musashi's principles remind us that true contentment lies not in what we have, but in the purpose and utility of what we choose to keep. Musashi also teaches us not to fear death. This might seem a daunting proposition in a society that shies away from such conversations, yet acknowledging our mortality can bring a sense of urgency, a desire to make every moment count. It's not about being morbid, but about embracing the transient nature of life. It's about living fully, right here, right now, because this moment is all we truly have. Lastly, Musashi advises us not to seek to possess goods or fiefs for our old age. This doesn't mean we shouldn't plan for the future, but rather that we shouldn't hoard out of fear for what lies ahead. It's a lesson in trust, in surrendering to the flow of life, knowing that we have the resilience to adapt to whatever comes our way. These teachings might seem counterintuitive in a world that advocates for more possessions, more security, more control over the uncontrollable. Yet there's wisdom in Musashi's words, a call to a life of mindful restraint. It's about choosing what truly matters, embracing our mortality to live more fully, and trusting in our ability to navigate life's twists and turns. For Musashi, a life well lived involves acceptance and mindful restraint. It's a path less traveled, but one that promises a sense of peace and contentment that the noise of accumulation and fear can never offer. At the heart of Musashi's philosophy lies a deep reverence for honor and a steadfast commitment to the way. Musashi's teachings are deeply rooted in the Bushidō, the samurai code of honor. One of his principles from Dokkōdō was to respect Buddha and the gods, but not to count on their help. This principle suggests a deep respect for the spiritual, but also an understanding of the importance of self-reliance. A samurai, in Musashi's view, must be spiritually aware, yet not use spirituality as a crutch, but rather as a source of strength and wisdom. Preserving one's honor, according to Musashi, was paramount even over preserving one's own body. This is a profound statement on the value of integrity and honor. It suggests a life lived with such commitment to principles and values that even the preservation of one's life becomes secondary to the preservation of one's honor. This was a common sentiment among samurais who would often choose death over dishonor. Lastly, Musashi urged his students to never stray from the way. The way, in the context of Bushidō, represents the path of discipline, virtue, and honor that a samurai must follow. It is a path that demands constant vigilance, commitment, and self-discipline. To stray from the way is to lose one's honor, to lose one's purpose, and ultimately to lose one's self. These teachings of Musashi were not just meant for the warriors of his time. They are timeless principles that can guide us even today. In a world that often values convenience over commitment and the easy path over the right one, Musashi's teachings remind us of the importance of maintaining our integrity, of standing by our principles, and of the value of self-reliance. In essence, to live by Musashi's teachings is to live a life of honor, to be steadfast in our commitment to our principles, and to never stray from our chosen path, no matter how difficult it may be. Musashi's teachings remind us that honor and commitment to one's path are the true marks of a warrior. Miyamoto Musashi, the legendary ronin, left behind a philosophy that transcends time and culture. This solitary warrior who walked his own path bequeathed to us a legacy that extends far beyond the realm of martial arts. His teachings provide a roadmap for life, offering direction to those who seek purpose and meaning in their existence. In the preceding scenes, we delved deep into the essence of Musashi's teachings. We explored the importance of breaking away from customary beliefs, of not blindly following the herd, but instead cultivating our own understanding. We discovered the art of minimalism and acceptance, of not collecting weapons beyond what is useful and not fearing death. We learned about the significance of respecting divine entities without depending on their aid, and of preserving honor above all else. And we grasped the essence of never straying from the way, the path of discipline, focus, restraint, and honor. These lessons, while originating from a man who lived in the 17th century, remain relevant even in our modern world. They are not confined to the battlefield, but extend into the arena of our daily lives. They serve as a guide to navigating personal relationships, professional challenges, and the pursuit of our passions. Musashi's teachings remind us that every individual is a warrior in their own right, engaged in their own battles. They encourage us to be bold, to step away from the crowd, and to carve our own path. They urge us to simplify, to focus on what truly matters, to accept the inevitability of death, and to live with honor. They inspire us to understand and respect the divine, but not to rely on it for our success. And most importantly, they emphasize the importance of staying true to our chosen path, despite the challenges and distractions that may come our way. The path of the loner, as walked by Miyamoto Musashi, continues to guide us in living lives of discipline, focus, restraint, and honor. As we navigate our own battles, his timeless principles serve as a beacon, illuminating the way of the warrior.